It is a pleasure to welcome a gentleman who for 7 years was doing fine reporting on Channel 5 and left that post, I want to say this past spring, to become an entrepreneur, a local businessman, and that is Grant Stinchfield. Grant, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great, Mark. I'll tell you what, hearing David Dewhurst's name, Rick Perry, and then even the former vice president, and I'm sandwiched in there someplace, I mean, I couldn't be more excited.
Times are good. Times are good. So why don't you tell us where you're planning on trying to get into the House of Representatives?
Well, I'm going to make it official. We've heard a lot of buzzing throughout North Texas about my run, and I'm finally going to make it official right here on your show, Mark. And I am going to run in Texas 24. That is Kenny Marchant's district. It runs basically from Coppell, Carrollton, down through Irving, where my business is, all the way over through the mid-cities and then up into South Lake, Colleyville, because let's face it, who can keep all those districts straight, Mark?
There you go, in the era of redistricting. So as people think about this, the first thing I think they'd want to know from you is sort of why are you running in general and why are you running against Kenny?
Well, I've always felt like I had to be on a mission. And 20 years ago when I got into TV, I felt it was a mission and I could serve as a watchdog and help folks. And I saw the TV business just change drastically, and I decided I wanted to go back to my roots. I come from a family of small business owners and contractors, and I bought my small business in Irving. I own an oil change, auto care center, Quick Car of Irving. And through that process, I'd always wanted to get involved in politics because I thought you could invoke change on such a macro level. So after the birth of my child 2 years ago, I put this whole process into place to buy my business, get myself an income stream, solely with the goal of running for Congress. And really, I had Texas 24 in mind almost 2 years ago when I was approached by business leaders in this district and even some high-ranking congressional staffers in North Texas to think about taking Kenny Marchant out.
And so the question arises, why does he need to be taken out?
Well, look, Kenny Marchant, he votes conservative. I'm not going to argue with that. And Lord knows he has great wealth, and I only wish I can be as successful as he is when I get to be his age. But right now, Mark, quite frankly, I'm going to use the word, is lazy. He comes home. I tried to find out when he was going to have a town hall meeting. He didn't have any town hall meetings while he was here. I had friends of mine try to reach his office. They had a very hard time getting through to him. Even folks being rude to them on the phone. I even called his office to talk to him about my run, and it took quite a bit of a fight to get through to him because I had folks on the phone that were rude to me. But the biggest reason, Mark, and what's gotten me so upset, and I think so many of your listeners, is the fact that we face this giant budget crisis and huge deficits. And then I read on his website that he is so glad and proud to have voted with conservative members willing to fight hard to cut spending, when in fact they didn't cut spending, Mark. They raised spending. They were arguing over how little the raise should actually be. And I would have voted against raising the debt ceiling, and I really think it's a horrible move for our country. They're mortgaging our children's future, and I got a 2-year-old at home, and I don't want to strap them with it.
All right, let me see if there are two things that I take from that answer of why run against Kenny Marchant. He does not strike you as a fireball of energy, getting out, doing the town halls, pressing the flesh, just working the turf. On the issues on which you would agree with him, you will simply be more energetic. And the second prong is there are some things in which you want to run to the right of him. There's some things in which you simply want to be more conservative. Do I have those right?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And you can go to Washington and you can press the button for the conservative vote. Unfortunately, he didn't press the right button when it came to the debt ceiling. But more importantly than that, I really believe that America is so great and we have such a bright future ahead of us, but it's time for young folks. It's time for another generation just to take the reins, and we need that energy. And I want to go to Washington, and I want to use my energy, and I will get out in front of it, and I will be screaming from the top of the mountains to anyone who will listen to me. I've been in TV a long time. I know what TV folks like. And with that, I want to do investigations while I'm in Washington from the inside. It's something that's never, ever been done before. And we'll expose all this waste, fraud, corruption, cronyism, you name it. We'll peel back the layers, and we'll invoke some change, Mark, because I believe we can get the power of the public on our side, and there are great times ahead of us. And we're all upset, and everybody's angry, and I agree we need to be angry at a few things, but really, I truly believe this. The future is bright, and when I look at my little child, I gotta believe that because it's his future that's at stake.
All right, Liz, we're going to pull the generational thing. It's not like Kenny's 80. He's 60. How old are you?
Well, I'm 42.
Gotcha. And listen, quite the TV power couple. Tell us about your lovely wife.
Yeah, my wife, Amy Vanderoff, she probably just got off set right now. She's the host of Good Morning Texas. And talk about a power couple. She made a Facebook post last night about me running and my announcement, which on your show, and then it's going to be in Grapevine, just in case anybody wants to come out, Main and Wall Street at noon today. But she made a post, and we had like 100 comments in 10 minutes. So she's the one with the big name recognition. She's my secret weapon, I call her.
Now, is it? I've known a couple of couples for whom this is true, and this now is just my dumb curiosity. There you are, a big name at Channel 5. There she is, a big name at Channel 8. Does it ever get weird? I mean, is there pillow talk that they wish you guys weren't having? Were there secrets you had to trade secrets you had to keep from each other?
No, you know what was great about us is I was a typical news guy. So I was investigations, out at the fire and the murders and all that stuff. And she gets to host the fun shows. I mean, she has cooks on, and fashion stuff, and all the actors come on. So we never really had to compete about anything. And I would love to go down and watch her show and just meet all the interesting people coming on. So quite the different lives.
So you come out of Channel 5, and do I remember that right? That was April?
Yeah, just about.
And you said I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna do a quick car tune and lube in Irving. How's that been working out?
And it's been the best thing I've ever done. I honestly feel liberated, and I truly believe small business ownership is within reach to anyone who wants it. But Mark, can I tell you a little story about the SBA?
Please.
This is really what fired me up about running for Congress. I went to get an SBA loan. And thankfully, I did my research. The SBA wanted to charge me $15,000 more in fees. The interest rate was higher for my $1 million+ loan that I'm carrying here. And I went to a little bank called Texas Brand Bank in Garland, one branch. And do you know they gave me a loan with the application was only 2 or 3 pages long compared to the SBA application that was 90 pages long, and the interest rate is lower, and my fees were almost $15,000 less. And I'm thinking to myself, the government is just getting in the way here. They're really hindering people from getting into business. And everybody thinks you got to go to the SBA, and it's such a scam. You don't have to go to the SBA. There's private enterprise that'll give loans out.
Well, we are the official talk show of primary challenges, and so we'll ride the train here with you, Grant. I much appreciate it. The website is Grant Stinchfield, Stinch, Field, GrantStinchfield.com, and you're got an event about a couple hours from now. Was it Main and Wall, that corner there on historic Main Street and Grapevine, straight up at noon, correct?
No coincidence on the Main and Wall Street, Mark.
Very good. Well, listen, where Wall Street meets Main Street, quite literally. Ah, look at you. Well, Grant, we'll be talking early and often, I know, and thank you very much, and best of luck to you.
No, thank you for having me, Mark.